If you never stop comparing yourself to others, you will never truly achieve your goals, even if you reach those goals. Let me explain. 4 years ago in 2017, if you would have asked me if I thought my YouTube channel would be as big as it is today, I probably would have said, no, not that big, but probably around 10 to 30,000. When I started my channel, I did have a grand vision of it being something huge and being something that I could make a living off of, but I thought if I just reached the point where I could be making a living off of it, no more and no less, I would be content, happy, and satisfied with where I was in life completely. I specifically remember around this time last year in April calculating how many views that I would need in order to make that actually viable. And this was when my channel just got monetized after 3 years of posting. So that was the goal. I had a specific number in mind and I thought if I got there, that would be it for me. Around October of last year, my channel started to skyrocket in growth and I smashed that goal of the amount of views that I needed each month in order to just make a living off of it. I was where I always dreamt of being. YouTube was my primary job, and yet I didn't feel any different. I couldn't understand it. This was the thing that I had put in thousands of hours of work to achieve. I sought after it for so long and I finally got there and I just was not satisfied. It was like my ideal goal was really just an illusion. And I searched for answers within myself as to why I didn't feel any different, and I started to realize something. It didn't really feel like I'd achieved much of anything because this new state of being at my goal was now the norm, and I wasn't even close to satisfied because of how much others in my field were achieving. I had a very bad comparison problem. What also contributes to this vicious mindset that most of us, pretty much all of us, are caught in is what's called the hedonic treadmill, and this was also part of the reason why I felt like I didn't achieve anything when I got to my goals. If you aren't familiar with this concept, the hedonic treadmill is the idea that once you reach a certain state of positive outcomes or negative outcomes in your life, you will always return to a set level of happiness because you adapt to that new way of living. Whether good or bad things happen, you'll always return to that baseline level of happiness. You see, you can try as hard as you want and work as hard as possible to accumulate all the wealth and success that you can get, yet you will still remain at your usual state of happiness because everything you gain will simply raise your expectations and leave you no better off than you were. And as you're gonna see is a theme on what I'm talking about in this video, there's absolutely nothing wrong with feeling this way sometimes. It's just that it's become over-intensified in people, I think, due to the way at which we're able to see how much other people are doing stuff now. And so when I say that comparison is keeping you from reaching your goals, what I really mean is that those goals lack any sort of meaning when you actually get there because you just want more after that and you're comparing yourself to what other people have already achieved in their lives, maybe at the same age as you. So why is it that we compare ourselves so much? I think it's an important question to answer before we tackle this problem, because understanding the root cause of why we over-compare is going to make it a lot easier to deal with when it arises. Well, it's a pretty simple answer, and my solution is probably going to surprise you when I get to it. It's simply just because it's in our nature. As humans, we want some type of way that we're making sure that we're doing what we're doing in our lives correctly. Basically, we crave fitting in, having a high status, and getting validated. Not only that, but as animals, we are very competitive. Competition is our driving force for survival. It's not necessarily wrong for wanting any of these things because it is in our nature, but too much of it can definitely lead you down the road of never being grateful for what you have right now. And social media has definitely amplified this way of negative comparison, because social media is a filter of people's lives. This is a snapshot of people at their absolute prime, when they're looking the best, when they're feeling the best, when they're in the best environment for a picture or a video, when they're around nice things. It's all during those times that things are put onto social media. And so we look at that and we think, wow, my life ain't shit compared to that person. The reason we struggle with insecurity is because we compare our behind the scenes with everybody's highlight reel. What you're seeing on social media is such a small fraction of how that person's life actually is. You want to know what that person usually is doing with the majority of their time? This is what their life probably looks like most of the time. And this is why comparison has turned into an actual problem, because we think these people with all these nice cars and bodies and attractiveness never struggle with anything. But the truth is, we're all struggling sometimes. Some of the most miserable people in the world are the most wealthy. But they're sure as hell not gonna open up about that on social media. And that's a huge reason as to why I open up about the things that I do on my channel, because I wanna keep it transparent with you guys. I wanna be vulnerable enough to say, hey, I get sad, I get depressed, I get anxious, I get angry, I'm human. And that's what everyone else that you glorify on social media or think their lives are amazing are like. None of those people have any idea what the fuck is going on. And I've said this in a lot of videos, but it's the truth. We're all trying to figure this out, and we all have struggles and uncertainties in our life. So trying to compare yourself to what you see on social media is so unrealistic to what anyone's life is actually like. Here is what is gonna really surprise you, and that's that the solution is not to stop comparing, because since we are humans, that's not possible. It's just to start comparing in the right way, the healthy way. In fact, comparison can be the very thing that keeps you more fulfilled and happy with yourself in the present moment. This is what you need to do. You need to only compare yourself to two people. Here are these two people. First, compare yourself with only one person who you genuinely think is better than you and above your level. Nobody else. Not all these people that you see on social media, not everyone around you, just one person who is better than you and above your level. This is how you work around your nature to compare and compete as a human. What I suggest for this is to pick someone who is around your age. This will leave you ambitious enough to achieve higher goals, which I believe is necessary for optimal human life. We all need something to strive towards, but won't be overwhelming to the point where you start to feel bad about yourself, like when you do when you're comparing yourself to everybody. And the second person that you need to compare yourself to is who you were about 2 years ago. Constantly comparing yourself to someone who is better than you can be very disheartening, and you'll probably be never satisfied with yourself if you do this. So you also need the perspective of comparing where you are now with your past self. It will make you extremely grateful of where you are now and how far you've come and how much you've been able to accomplish as a person these past years. And this is why I journal, and it's part of the reason why I have a YouTube channel, is because I'm able to reflect on my progress over these past 4 years in a visual medium like video. But if you don't want to do that, obviously you don't have to. You could just journal and create diary entries for things that you're getting done. I have plenty of journals that show me how much progress I've made, and looking back on those on days where I don't feel too good about myself, I can just tell myself, look at the person that you were even just like a year ago, like how much you've improved already, and you're feeling bad about yourself for having one bad day. Like you're killing it. This exercise of self-introspection is so fulfilling and enriching. But like comparing yourself with someone who is better than you all the time, you shouldn't do this all the time either, because then you can just escape into your head and take comfort there and never actually push yourself. And complacency is the fastest way to get depressed and unhappy with where you're at, because you're not moving forward. It's all about the balance between being happy and grateful in the present moment and what you've achieved so far, and still wanting to be ambitious and having goals to stride towards. And that's why we compare these two opposite type of spectrums of people, because it allows you to feel both of those things. So you're comparing yourself to all of these people when in the end, we all end up here 6 feet under. And I'm sure if you're dead, you're not gonna start comparing your gravestone to someone else's who's bigger than yours. Thank you to all the patrons on this channel on Patreon. This is a platform where I'm putting out exclusive videos, podcasts, blog posts that you cannot find anywhere else. If you want to check that out, patreon.com/Cole Hastings. The link is also in the description. And that is it for this video. Let me know your ways of not comparing yourself, or if this resonated with you in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching until the end. You guys are the best. And yeah, this is a little secret message for you guys who stay till the end. I want you to comment below, skeet up. We're going to confuse some people in the comments for this video. I don't know. I just want to do this. I'll see you guys in the next video.